I'm actually using this picture for the students to make them understand that you need to experiment an idea to make it relevant yeah, and a real business. You can, or otherwise you can think a long time. So maybe quickly before I start to dig into the concrete topic about the Market Opportunity Navigator. I found the Market Opportunity Navigator honestly really randomly when I was looking for a great methodology to solve complex or simple problems, but with a framework that could help my project, my customers, when I was working in consulting or advertising agencies in France and in Switzerland. So I'm 32 years old. Sharon present myself, but I'm husband. I have a child of almost 2 years, and I've been doing what we called 20 years ago. We called that the internet. Today it's digital, but I started on the internet, and so I found the Market Opportunity really useful because it's a really seamless experience even for customers. And I would like to share with you a topic I had, a project I made with a team at public transportation in Geneva. So unfortunately, I can't share with you some specific confidential documents, but I'm gonna share with you a lot of details of how it goes and or actually it went well because they were happy with the methodology, which is a good sign at the end when you are working with customers. Maybe the first thing I would like to share with you, it's about your introduction. So I started to make some lecture. I'm quite young, okay, and I started to make some lecture session in the meantime 2 years ago, and I found something missing in the way you want people to connect your knowledge, what you have to share with them, and make them connection with what they know or what they could know. So I found this example really useful when you're working with the methodology. For instance, this one, and I shared with you, Sharon and Mark last time, because the answer is quite easy, and so people can guess what is behind it. But you can find a lot of stories behind them. And this is what I mean by providing a context. It's basically providing potential insights that could lead them, lead their thinking, the way they will apply the methodology. And so basically the answer for this one, it's quite simple. It's a combination of factors. It could be no need for the market. So if you use the Market Opportunity Navigator, you can assess the potential market, the volume, the potential targets. Another one would be the wrong team, meaning not the right resources. So you can eventually find this as well in the Market Opportunity Navigator. So actually there is a lot of connection to do that. And if you want to get more, the great study behind it is from CB Insights about startup failure reasons. So providing a context is really important. And one thing I love to share as well is I'm not a cartoon guy, but I love what Tom Fishburne has done in the last couple of years. So he's providing a lot of cartoons on marketing topics and marketing innovation and new stuff. And honestly, I have been experienced this situation where you're actually entering in the room and you say, hey, you have a contract, you need to find new ways to develop that and blah, blah, blah. Let's find the good thing we can develop to create growth. And then you come back and you say, hello, this is what we are going to do. And say, is it really something we can do? Because can we afford this? And again, the framework is providing you a concrete methodology to address this kind of topic, because you are bringing a real scale to analyze and audit the potential project. So getting back to the customer I mentioned in Geneva, they had already a project in mind. They wanted to innovate for the bus stop in Geneva. So I told them, if you want to avoid investing 1 million, 2 million, 3 million Swiss francs, so $2 million, and getting a prototype without actually assessing what you're going to do, there is a methodology for that. You can create a grid and get the grid from the methodology and keep going the process of analyzing your innovation project. So this is basically what we did. I explained to Sharon that we did a workshop with them in a half day. So it was a 3-day process, and with by 3 day I mean 3 full days. And actually the complete workshop, we focused directly on the second step, the assessment. So I required that they work prior to the workshop on the first part, on the core abilities. So and I have few tips to share with you on that. So for the first types, I wanted them to work on it prior to the workshop, because this is a critical point, in my opinion, where you can get lost. Because the first thing is, people are not used to take a step back and say, okay, actually, as a company or as an individual, what is my key differentiator? What is my core abilities, my skills? That is not only a commodity. And by making them work on alone on their side, or as a small group, and following up on this, makes the rest of the exercise much more impactful for them, and they can take their time to work on this. Because for me, and I saw that as well with the students in Geneva and in Paris, they are always struggling with the core abilities, and it's even more complicated when they are not working in the same team. So what I can suggest is, of course, help them to ask the right question, and I always think that you need sometimes to provide them the guidance, meaning that I found myself as a facilitator when I was doing the first cohort with Mark and Sharon. And I think it's a good way to position yourself by saying, okay, so I know the methodology, I know the tool, you know your company. So I bring you the way to identify what you will be doing next by just giving you the tool, the key. And so what we did with the client is actually they already had their project. So I tried to frame the way they could challenge themselves with the project of the new generation of bus stop, with new features, with data collection at the bus stop, sharing the data with external partners, etc., 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 generating new business model. I think that this is really important for you to help them find their way, because if you do that prior to the workshop, it will help to produce during the workshop what we need to do. And after the workshop, of course, having a debrief. So just for the record, we used Miro. So I don't know if you mentioned that, Mark and Sharon, but Miro. So this is a white paper board to collaborate as a team in the meantime on the same paper. So it's I mean, in a COVID time, which is basically the new normality, it's quite useful.
Yeah, we did discuss this, Paul.
Okay, great. And so a good feedback I can share with you that I just remembered right now is the fact that we created specific group during the workshop, and they add their own mirror thing to work on their side to make it more convenient for everybody. And then I merge everything at the end to make it again more easy to use. Maybe I can share with you also some quick improvements that maybe that you already know or are aware of. The first one is for the first step. There is a small little good practice, in my opinion, is to define a color code for each core ability. In doing so, you are helping your brain, their brains, to see where is the novelty, to see what is for something, for instance, critical, to see what is an existing or a project assets. Because if you remember with the methodology, the good thing is, and I'm saying that to the customers, you can either take the current picture of your company or project yourself and think tomorrow we will having a laboratory or whatever, a new technology, a new 5G connectivity, for instance, to take something really specific. So, and usually what I do with that when I'm talking about emerging technologies or new technologies, I bring a slide of it. I'm a tech expert, but my customers are not tech experts. So I'm bringing a slide saying, here is a current landscape of new technology, emerging technologies. So think about them to enable new opportunities and make the bridge. Again, on the core abilities, because for me it's something really critical, because if you are missing the first step, it's getting really complicated. So another one would be to maybe prior to that, it's to categorize, each core ability by department. I found that last time the team I was working with was really trying to structure the way they could present that, because on the framework it's really simple because you have to keep it simple. But you could say, okay, if we have 10 departments, we could try to summarize by list and then merge them together according to the critical aspect of it, by business side, or so you can try to play with the way you present that to make it more convenient for them. Another good one, it's I mean, it's common. It's in French we say, I'm French actually. I'm sorry about that. We say bon sens paysan, so good basic sense. I would say farmer, something like that. I'm bad at translating that, but so you need to keep it simple and easy to understand. And
practical.
Sorry.
And practical, that's what you mean as well. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean,
I know that well. I like that.
And so, so I discovered the Market Opportunity Navigator with flyability. So eventually, because it's a Swiss startup, I'm living in Switzerland, it's a good connection. But actually, I always have these slide decks on my side, jumping on it during the presentation because, actually, I don't get what this is at. So I have the study case within my PowerPoint, within my everywhere in my pocket. So, and I have those slides say, okay, flyability, you know them. They created a drone. Their core ability was this. So there is a great article. If you don't know this article on the website, where2play.co, you can still use it. And actually, I love this sentence from the team, Sharon and Mark. I don't know who created this, but I love the sentence, and I created this. So anyway, so this was one of my latest tips, which was bring valuable content within your presentation to have it just to jump on it like this, like a drone actually. So I already mentioned it, but don't hesitate as well to share some tips. So one thing I literally stole from Mark and Sharon was this. So I think it's written in the book. I don't recall, but it's don't fall in love with your initial idea. And actually, this is terrible because I'm always falling in love with ideas I have, but anyway, I'm still always trying to do that, and this is basic because your brain is getting in love with what you are saying, what you are doing. So because you feel confident with it, but don't do it and put that on the screen and present that. So maybe a quick summary on this: color code, categorize, bring example. So if you are not really confident with drones, you can have other case. Another case. I know that Sharon is working on this. You told me last time. And then do not hesitate to share little tips like the cartoon I've shown you, the methodology, yeah. And one thing also I do during my presentation is I'm creating also, I'm rephrasing the methodology in itself. So I'm actually publicly saying that the methodology has been done by Mark and Sharon and Mark, and there is a website, there is a book, and I use that as something to leverage the potential, and I think I also bring the book always when I'm doing the exercise in the workshop, because you know, there is a human there is a bias, which is if you have a book, it's a better methodology. So basically the methodology is great. So the good news is there is a great book with a great methodology. So bring the book, and actually the book is here. So use it, and honestly, it's working. And do not hesitate to keep a post-it on it, because it means that you are using it. So I'm kidding. So that's it. I don't know if I'm the right time right now.
Yes, perfect.
The most important trick in the end, huh?
I'm joking a little bit because I want to make this more fun, but actually I'm bringing the book because you know, when you have a workshop, a physical workshop, it's easier to just jump on the book and say, okay, let me check this, because there is also the cases in the book. So with augury, I remember, and so that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul-Henri. Maybe you unshare your screen and we take some,
sure.
some questions from the audience. Anyone has or comments or questions for Paul-Henri?